Hi, everyone. We want to thank CCB. We have Kathy and Brett, who are Phin partners with us and helping keeping their end users safe and secure. We have Connor, our co-founder and CEO of Phin, and I'm Mary. I'm the channel chief at Phin. And we hear often that getting end user engagement with their security awareness training for their tenants can sometimes be problematic, I would say. We hear that when we go to trade shows and everything else. So, we have some experts on here who get quite a bit of engagement and can maybe give us some tips and tricks. So I guess we'll just kick it off with some questions. My first question is, and we'll throw it, I don't know, Connor, if you want to start with this, but what's the biggest reason that security awareness programs fail to engage employees?
Um, there's I don't know if I'm the one causing the uh, reverberation here, but I think at the end of the day, there are many reasons why employees feel like the training that they're getting isn't relevant to them. Sometimes it's the wrong style, sometimes it's delivered incorrectly, sometimes they're somehow assigned to the wrong role, training role within an organization, and so they're getting things that they feel are irrelevant to them. But the all of that culminates in the biggest reason that I've seen when I go talk with end users or when I talk with our MSPs like Kathy and Brett here is the end user for some reason feels like what they're getting is no longer relevant or takes into account their unique I want to use the word like tastes here preferences. That's a way better word. And that's usually when engagement starts to drop. If you're like, well, if they don't care about me, I'm out of here. Delete email. Goodbye. I'd be curious to hear Kathy and Brett. I mean, you guys are much closer to actually the front lines of like delivering and receiving feedback. So like, what's your feedback that you get?
Um, some of the feedback I've gotten is essentially like, "Oh, I don't need the training," which is always the key person that needs the training, as well as kinda like, "Well, I don't use email that much, so, I'm not susceptible to this." I've had where they've reported the email for training as a phishing attempt itself, not realizing that they were blocking something legitimate. Brett, what about you? Any
Yeah. I think some people just kind of have that ironclad personality too, where they think that they're a little bit invincible when it comes to technology. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, there's kind of a misleading or a self-imposed safety feeling that a lot of users will get before they experience themselves falling into a phishing attack or getting their account taken over or something, and then they tend to take security a lot more seriously after the fact. But it's hard to um, relate the value to users when they haven't experienced it, and it's a lot easier for us on our side because we see it so often. But another thing that I think of a lot too is that a lot of people are thinking about what is the actual incentive for me to complete this? Is there actual rules at the company where you want to, you have to enforce a certain type of security awareness training and things like that? Or I mean, do I get a $5 Starbucks gift card? There's a lot of ways to go about it, good and bad. If I don't do the security training, then I need to go talk to my manager and get a little slap on the hand or something similar. But um, those are the ones that I think of the most often when I kind of try and think about why people are or are not actually doing the trainings and how fast they're actually getting them finished, etc.
When when somebody reaches out to y'all or it comes across your desk and they say what you had said at the beginning, which was this isn't relevant, or I'm not the person that's going to fall for it, or I not in my email enough, so this is no longer relevant. I'm ignoring it. What do y'all do in that case?
We've had opportunities with especially a couple customers where we've done custom spear phishing attempts that we've actually drone through their email, or we've had a point of contact and be like, this person is always in this platform. So we've made it to the point that it looks legit, so they have to, like, they engage, and when they realize that, it could be as simple as, like a Slack password reset, that, they're realizing that the training is necessary, that, we're trying to target the need or the necessity for training.
It sounds like skipping right past the conversation where it's like you try to convince this person, hey, love the energy, but you're wrong. Everyone needs
Well, we've had CEOs tell us that there's provincial training and, like, I love the training because it's cheesy, and cheese sells. It sticks to your brain. So when they say it's provincial, you can't tell a CEO, "Oh, you're wrong," it's exactly what you need. So, rather than having that hard conversation with a C-suite, we work with our point of contact and we figure out the best way to prove without having to say the words.
Is getting leadership involved in, I don't want to use the word like reprimanding, but like enforcement might be the right word, or like pushing the importance of, hey, we're doing this training not only to keep you secure, but our cyber insurance requires this in the event we do experience a cyber attack. That's one of the prevential measures that's going to keep us alive. And if you don't do your training, there's a sublimit in our policy that kicks in, and boom, we're no longer protected.
Yep.
Do you find that like having that conversation and getting them involved, or at least supportive, is difficult?
No, I think that once we get the point of contact engaged and fully aware of the direction that we need to go, the drive is not hard. It's just working towards finding that commonality, that, like their purpose, for the end users, as far as like, punitive, we've had on both sides punitive where you fail one phishing test, you're out. And then we've had it to the point like, we've had it engaged where the point of contact, we work with them. They're asking what the best ways are. We tell them that, use it as opportunities of training, use it as incentive. Like Brett said, give them a $5 gift card, use it as a contest to see who does the best training, to make it fun. Because when you make it fun, it's going to be less of a chore and more something that they really want to do.
Got it.
I have a question for you, Mary, from the side, the left wing of the screen.
Basic voice.
Can It's like the Wizard of Oz behind
Yeah.
when you compare or you think about different customers that you have, what do you consistently see of those that are successful in completing their training and those that are unsuccessful?
Having our point of contact involved, it really, like, I've had a point of contact where we have gone through every caveat of the portal to know what Fin can do and what it can't do, and how they can get their end users engaged, and what we can do through Fin to get them engaged.
Is there anything?
And
Oh, go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
I was just going to say, almost comically from the service desk side, you can kind of tell when a client is doing their training and when they're not, because both avenues create more tickets for me, either a lot more reported fishes or a lot more breach remediations. So it's very easy to determine who's actually been doing their stuff or not.
That's funny. That is interesting. Do you do you know if y'all leverage the manager reporting that's available through the Microsoft integration that we have?
Um, I do know that we use your reporting through, yeah, that we get it the monthly.
Yeah. I
Um,
I have a lot of friends that are like actual practitioners of security awareness training, so they don't work at an MSP, but they run awareness training programs at like large organizations. It's a whole career path, or they, are builders of other awareness training companies. And the biggest, I don't want to call it blocker, but challenge that they have is when compared to, let's say, an enterprise that has their own internal IT team. Like there is a person on staff there. It's like, this is your job. You take this torch and you carry it forward and you care about it and you make sure everyone else knows why it's important. But when you're an MSP and you have 150 clients, you don't have 150 torchbearers out there to push the narrative forward in like some incredibly time intense. It's a lot of time, uh, intense way. And so one of the things that we had built that actually a few partners had asked for is you can designate somebody's manager according to Microsoft. Like there's a whole bunch of APIs that you can use, and then Microsoft will tell you, okay, this person reports directly to this other person who's also in Microsoft. And we can tie into that. And instead of emailing just the stakeholder, like you were suggesting, this person, here's this giant list, go follow up with everyone. We'll actually take every person who is not completing their training and email their manager and say, this person who reports directly to you is not doing their training. Here's the proof. You need to go fix this now. And it was like one distributed way to try and create that same level of ownership and accountability and energy without making Brett here field 150 tickets every single time. Some segment of the users you serve are not doing their training, which would just be not only in my mind a terrible use of time, but also incredibly time intensive.
yeah,
I have a
that
question.
that is an amazing aspect. Other platforms that I've have had that ability where you could email the supervisor or email, different levels of either the end user, like, hey, you're not doing your training, and then it goes to the next level of the manager, hey, you're not doing, then it goes to the director, like you can tier it as well. Would be awesome as well.
That is great. I had a quick question. How do you know that the training is actually working? How do you know that it's improving? Brett
Other,
might be able to answer this.
other than Brett,
Yeah, I mean, there's the obvious response here is you stop seeing the breach remediation tickets coming in for a certain client. But you also have smaller things. When you're working with people on a daily basis and you're talking to them, and it's not necessarily related to their account was taken over or whatnot. I just had a client I was working with who is notorious for having bad passwords and bad email management, and I was talking to them, and they needed to send me their password encrypted over so that I could use it for a piece of software, and it was actually following guidelines. And he was telling me about how he actually recommended using encryption in email and stuff like that before I even got to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like not only am I seeing phish reports from you, but you're actually using our password guidelines and other things that aren't directly related to, phishing prevention and whatnot. And it's just like, it kind of blows your mind a little bit when some of those users that have historically had issues have actually paid attention to their trainings and are putting it into practice. It's almost like a proud dad moment from the service desk side of things. So you see it on larger scale with less tickets or less high critical tickets and things like that, and then you also see it on the smaller side and more individual interactions.
Are you reviewing something like that with your clients on a regular basis? Maybe not you personally, Brett, but CCB, where you're like these are the number of end user related tickets that involved stuff the training should have addressed, or I know that we have the users to watch table, and so y'all do as well. And then there's the leaderboard. But is a part of your regular business reviews with your clients this kind of training and how it's impacting their world as well?
Yes, we utilize LCI, which you
Yeah.
guys do an amazing integration with, and we have customer success managers that reach out either weekly or monthly to all of our customers, and they get to see the dashboard of how well or not how well they're doing, and seeing the gauge of the percentage of efficiency, success or not.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I've always thought, just along the terms of what Brian put here in the chat, gamifying. It's a really over-indexed word. So, like, what does it actually mean? People love competition, and so if you put even an anonymized list of people in a client, and then somebody has an A, everyone else has a B. Immediately, a lot of people are like, "Wait a second, why does that person have an A? How do I get that A?
Mhm,
I don't want to be the
mhm.
loser. I want to be the winner." Joke's on you. It's like it means nothing. We made them up, but you're doing it great. No, I'm kidding. People like to compete, or at least know how they're doing relative to others, for sure.
And managers like that competition as well. I've seen where, in reporting the star rating or the ABCD, they'll be like, "Hey, my team has an A, status, like what it's that gamify as well within departments and individuals."
And the hard thing, I'm sure, from the Fin side is that there are always going to be people who don't like the gamify thing as well. They just want to get through the training, learn the stuff, and get it done as fast as possible. They could care less
Yeah.
if they see that they're doing better than someone else. So you kind of have to cater to everybody when you're creating these trainings and doing the templates and whatnot.
There's a lot of truth to that. If you serve enough people, which you guys definitely do, there's going to be certain people who it seems like no matter what you do, and no matter what you give them, no matter how you try to adjust or make it relevant, like they're just not going to enjoy it. A super pedantic but easy to understand example is like if you give somebody animated content, like a cartoon, um, and there's some people who they really enjoy that. Like, listen, I watch Naruto as much as the next guy, probably more than the next guy, but it doesn't really bother me. But there are people who are ambivalent to it. Uh, I don't even know if ambivalent's the right word. It's neither here nor there. They don't care about it. And then there are other people, and we've literally had tickets forwarded to us before from MSPs, from our partners help desk, where they're like, the wording is like, if you send me any more of this cartoonish crap, like we're not going to be working together anymore. And then I call the partner. I'm like, oh, wow, this sounds horrible. Like, how can we help? Like, also, do you know, like, you can adjust things in this way? Does this person know that? And then the partner's response is usually the same. It's like, oh, this person complains about everything. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And it's just
This
like,
is actually anime, not cartoons. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah. So if you consider Avatar: The Last Airbender, don't consider it
Right.
not anime. Whoa, it's like, listen, I'm not so deep into the world that I can't appreciate both.
Yeah.
But like things like that are absolutely true. Is what I always at least say to a user and to an MSP is if you do you deploy all of your security services and everything you do to your clients based upon the preferences of the end user, and in almost all cases they're like, absolutely not. Like if they complained about the endpoint management tool we have, it's very behind the
Mhm.
scenes, so maybe this isn't the best example. Maybe browser management software is better. It's like end user doesn't care. It's like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like this is the decision your stakeholders, your company has made and that we've made, and we're just here helping them. I always say the thing that you want when it comes to content is not so much content that everybody can just get everything they want, because there are people who it doesn't matter how much you have, it's not going to be what they want. So what you need is almost like I have 2-year-olds at home, so it's like you don't ask them, do you want to eat your vegetables? You ask them, do you want carrots or do you want peas? So they have a choice, but nowhere in the choices was it to not eat their vegetables. And so not to infantilize like adults who are working, but it's like the choice that you give them is like, listen, you have to do this. Whether you like it or not, or whether I like it or not, it doesn't matter. We have to do this. We're being paid to do this, and here are all the reasons. So would you like A or would you like B? These are the two options we have in front of us today. Usually that's when they're like, okay, I'll take this option. I might not be as happy about it, but we're like, sure.
Sometimes the clients who have the biggest or the most negative response to security awareness training are the ones that would be self-proclaimed infants when it comes to computing. So when you have to go that route, it works sometimes as well.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, most individuals' experience with IT folk is that they almost feel this like transitive hatred that IT folk have towards like the end user who has no idea how to work their printer. And so I think honestly that their not perception, but their actions come from a place of like they feel unsupported, they feel ignored, or like they just got punished. Punitive is a word that comes up all the time. And it's like, listen, like I don't know what happened previously, but no, it's like we're going to be supportive. You have to do this. Are there ways? If there are ways we can make it better, we're going to explore them. Unfortunately, like, would I rather watch we do our own awareness training? Would I rather watch that or like Instagram Reels? It's like, why? Give me the Reels. Like, I'm going to watch like that. So it's like it's not what I would choose to watch, but if I have a choice, like okay, maybe now there's a little bit more involvement.
I think one of the things that a partner that I interviewed said was that our content is snackable, is that it is little bits of knowledge in short video pieces versus like a day-long training or 60-minute video. So I think the length of the video has an impact and makes it more consumable.
When you guys are building awareness training programs and your clients, like what are some of the questions that they're asking or maybe you're asking to bring up to them if they don't have the understanding to ask them?
As far as doing the training,
Yeah, like why we're doing this, how it's going to happen, why it should happen certain ways.
essentially, they have already, when they get to me, they've already engaged in knowing that they need security awareness training. So it's something that they have to tick off on their insurance form. So they're just complying. I don't think when they get to me that they understand the complexity or the diversity of security awareness training and simulation. So the best way that I've gotten are I'm very excited about the Phin portal, and I will spend 45 minutes with the point of contact and go through each feature caveat, give them the access to do the admin, to help them feel like they have the power to make the choices. But like in your original video, Connor, that's no longer available. When you did it in 20 minutes, I do it in 20 minutes, where they are set up, complete, and done. Walking through, and I always recommend doing a once a month training because when you start going quarterly or you do bi-monthly or any of the other durations, security doesn't become a hot topic on mind. Like, if I only have to do training once every 3 months, and with the way the world goes today, security is gonna be out of my mind in, a couple of days, and I've gone. So, if I know I have training every month and I know I'm gonna get fished every month, then I'm gonna be a little bit more like, "Okay, I should scrutinize this email if I haven't asked for it." Or, "What are the things that I need to look for?" "Oh, I've got a training coming up next week." So, just the frequency is a key thing in get with the POCs, trying to have them agree And the best way to sell the video monthly is that it is about a 5-7 minute video that essentially, like you take a longer break than you do for the video. And this is going to secure your environment. And then they usually are like, okay.
When you're training these stakeholders at the client to get involved and either just even take a look at the portal or potentially build things,
Yep.
what do you find that their typical level of involvement ends up being?
It varies. I've had people that are to the nth degree of how exactly, when, where, why. And then I've had people like, okay, do whatever you say. Like I can get through the portal in 10 minutes without, but the person that is wanting the ins and outs, who's in the operation side of the business, is definitely asking a lot more questions and a lot more engaged in that aspect. So there's a varying degree of engagement.
I see Brett set up and got a little closer to the screen. Did you have anything?
He's like, wait a minute.
Oh, no. I just progressively throughout the day start slouching more and more and more, and I need to remind myself not to destroy my back. So
No worries. Yeah, that's it kind of matches a lot of the experience I have, at least in talking with partners. Is it's I don't want to compare it to like leading a horse to water but not being able to get him to drink, because a lot of times the relationship you have with your partner is, we're hiring you to make the decisions. We're paying you all this money because we don't know what decisions to make, or we don't want to have to invest the time ourselves to know what the right decision is and why. And that's why folks like you two are behind the scenes saying, trust us. This is what we're going to do, and here's why we're going to do it.
Yep. And if you have a good relationship with your partner, the recommendations that you are forthcoming with, they'll trust you to make that decision for them, unless there is, they have certain wants and desires out of the outcome.
You had both mentioned earlier getting some kind of stakeholder, whether that is C-suite, but a person who can then ideally get the support of the C-suite or the leadership team at a company involved. Are there any other, I don't want to say roadblocks, but issues that you've seen rolling out training to clients, or maybe things that you do or that you've seen that make it go smoother, other than getting the stakeholder involved as well?
Primarily our setup is with the one person that we have in contact. We've not had, I shouldn't say we, Brett, you may have had pushback on training, but I have not had the end user pushback. I've heard more of like the supporting staff of like, your C-suites, your directors, your upper level management, that it's like, why are we doing this? And then when you explain it to them, given the logic, given the business sense, then they're like, okay. And they move on. I don't get that from the end user. Basically, our directive is saying, you will do this. This is your part of your job.
And you had mentioned cyber insurance before. Is that one of the primary drivers that has people reach out to you?
Yeah. What we have included security awareness training within a security bundle. So we've got a whole bundle with between email, ransomware, PC, that it's all included. So that's why we are bumping up our Phin support, because we feel that regardless of a checkbox, that, having that knowledge of where we're going in the future for phishing and training, need that security.
Yeah, we see the value in it, and we, from both the client's perspective and our perspective as an MSP, and we want to make sure that like the phish training and whatnot is kind of like a default state for our clients, so that we don't necessarily have to convince a company to go through it. It's more of a and like an included requirement for normal security services,
That
more
makes
or less.
Yeah, I think about like 3 or 4 years ago, every single cyber insurance policy that I could get my hands on, or in the course of a conversation with a small business or even a partner of ours, it became clear that they all included
Mhm.
awareness training at some level. Um, I always make the following statement, NIST cybersecurity framework, I guess, if I could explain this in a way that's not going to make people need to go research acronyms. The National Institute of Standards and Technology released what is called the cybersecurity framework, and without exaggeration, almost every single cybersecurity framework that any practitioner or any auditing or governing body uses to decide, are you doing cyber or not, leverages the NIST cybersecurity framework and the subpoints in there to decide, yeah, you're doing the right thing or you're doing the wrong thing. And there are only 3 subpoints that deal with training. And the way that those 3 points are defined are so broad that virtually any training you give on any topic over any time frame at any frequency will satisfy those training requirements.
Mm.
So it's like whether you're going for CMMC is a big topic. Sorry, acronym soup again. Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. Doesn't even make sense when you say it out loud. You're like, what does that mean? They all borrow these 3 points from the overarching NIST cybersecurity framework. And so like every single implementation, or even your cyber insurance policies, which are supposed to be NIST aligned in general, not necessarily, they'll just borrow these 3 things. And so I found that getting people to say, oh, I need awareness training is not like the biggest hump to get over. It's then saying, and you should have it on these topics, and you should have it for these people with these roles, and you should do it on this cadence. And, doing it monthly or weekly is not, between the two is not very important. But you had said the important part of it, Kathy, which was if you're training everyone once a year, what do you do for the other 11 months and 29 days? If you're only updating your content once a year, what do you do tomorrow when somewhere around the world there's going to be a breach of some kind that we're all going to discover? It just changes day by day. And so it's important to keep people engaged. You learn a little bit more, you retain a little bit more if you learn more often in lower, not lower amounts, but smaller time frames. But then you can also stay more up to date. So I found like getting people to say, you need to do training because your cyber insurance requires it. It's like, fine, whatever. And then going one step beyond to say, and we should do it in this way because it just makes a little bit more sense and might make you a little more secure. They're like, Kathy, over my dead body is how you're going to get that one in. It's just like, wait a second, what's going on here? There was no question in there. It was just a general observation. I guess. I don't know. I just remember.
Well, we have had CEOs say that, though.
It's true. I mean, and I remember reading. I remember reading a blog article that was based off of a report on phishing susceptibility in general. This was like 5 years ago at this point, so maybe it's not even relevant. And the premise of the report are those who are technologically inclined. I'm going to phrase it that way. Basically, it was like IT and cyber folk versus people who don't work in that profession. Who is more or less susceptible to social engineering and that kind of attack pattern? Not just email phishing, social engineering in general. And the answer was that there's actually no greater or less likelihood of an attack in either. It's like they are all equal. All of us, as it turns out, shocking news, they're all human. And some of us have just chosen different career paths is largely what it comes down to. An example I always give too is we did a phishing exercise one time with a bunch of IT folk that we're friends with. It was not done against the rule. They all participated, like 100 of them. And we're just like, all these people, they're on Reddit, they're in Slack, they're in Discord. They have like hundreds. I've seen their phone blow up with like 14 different notifications in the span of a single day. We should just blast them with like Slack invites that look normal, Discord messages that look normal, Microsoft Teams, God forbid, hate that, and Reddit, and it worked, to like a shocking degree. It's like people who, just getting them to click a link is not necessarily mean that they would have gotten completely phished, but it's like, hey man, like you did exactly what we thought you would do. You got the message. You're like, oh, it's like almost like that Family Guy. It's like, oh, piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. It's like, oh, Slack. Oh, yeah. And you Slack invite. You're like, wait a second. Where's the Slack channel I was getting invited to? I was looking forward to seeing that. It didn't exist. Didn't exist. We got you.
If I'm getting those sent to my work email, I'm going to be very confused.
That's one of the
So
reasons.
note to self.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let Phin start doing your internal phishing.
Yeah.
We get crazy with it. One of the things we've thought about doing, we don't have this in the platform today, but is like taking the real email that's getting blocked in your gateway and saying, okay, what would have happened if this actually got through? Because at some point it will. Like if security is an onion and there's like 20 different layers, it's like, that's literally why you do tabletopping. It's like, what if a certain amount of the layers break or all of them break? What do we do in certain scenarios? And so one of the things we thought about is like, all right, your email filter doesn't catch something. What happens? That'd be pretty cool, but don't have that. That'd be like to the nth degree of like, no, you actually got attacked with these and we just let them through.
Yeah.
That's
we
chaos
always get,
engineering.
you're not an employee at CCB until you get a email from our CEO. Because, you put on LinkedIn, like I'm at this company and, you get about 5 texts and 5 emails and it's just crazy.
I always joke. It's like, if you are getting those from Connor when you started, I'll take Apple gift cards. If they ask for any other kinds of gift cards, I don't want any.
But make sure they deliver them in person.
You bring up a good point, though. Is like, I get asked all the time, like, how is AI impacting all this? And it's like, what's the new AI technology that'll do your awareness training? I'm like, I feel like that's such a that's the least interesting question to ask when it comes to how's AI going to impact this. And I always say, and Verizon's DBIR, another acronym suit, Data Breach and Investigation Report. It's like the biggest breach report known to man. They analyze tens of thousands of breaches, and every year Verizon's DBIR team releases a report. Super interesting to go through it. And that's one of the biggest topics is AI impacting breaches and how they're happening? And the short answer is yes. The long answer is in which way, which is more interesting. And the thing about AI and social engineering is it's not creating like these new, like never before seen black swan event type breaches. What they're doing is just getting better information about who works at which company, who they're likely to talk to, and the other things that are important about their life. Because I could go to ChatGPT and say, tell me everything you know on the internet about Kathy Bennett, and she works at this company. And here's her LinkedIn. Here's a LinkedIn profile for her. And then like 10 minutes later, boom, I got a picture of your dog or something. I don't know. Like, and being able to repeat that at scale is such a possibility for the way I phrased it is a teenager with an internet connection and $5 in their pocket anywhere around the world can do this now. So the thing that you've seen is just not like black swan event level attacks, but it's just, I know that Brett and Kathy are likely to work together. So maybe I'll try and reference that in some kind of email or a text message. And that's what we've seen. It's just OSINT, open source intelligence, and the gathering of it is just much easier now.
The quality of the phish email is becoming more exponentially difficult in that you don't have the misspelling. Like it's not Amazon or Amazon or whatever. Like they're not misspelling words, or they're making it to the point that you can't hover the link to see if it's actually a real URL, because it is showing a real URL. That there are so many layers within AI that it's making it actually harder to detect unless you're doing headers and investigations.
Yep.
It's funny that you would mention AI, by the way, because before you mentioned searching for people on AI, when you were talking about how this type of thing is used in the future, I actually told it to look you up before you mentioned it. And it actually let me know that I should come at you with some information about Buffalo Wild Wings, because you had recently commented on some LinkedIn posts about not sleeping on Buffalo Wild Wings. So
That's
there's
crazy.
my attack vector.
That I made that comment 4 hours ago this morning.
Wow.
On a post, and not to spend more time than necessary on it, but it is a joke. It's literally an entire like subculture thing at Finn. Is like, Connor's going, it's wing night. Guess where Connor's going to be? And like, it's not an exaggeration. I've gone to Buffalo Wild Wings on average 1.5 times a week for 12 years straight. Like, no. And I've sent the company pictures of the wings that I eat. We've calculated as a joke how many chickens have died to feed me just at Buffalo Wild Wings. Delaware's the chicken capital of the country, by the way.
Well, all I'll say is, if you get that email that has inviting you to some sort of web conference or something that has a Buffalo Wild Wings card, and you have to click the sign up button, just maybe second guess that, Connor.
He's clicking. He's not even thinking. He's clicking.
I have an agent in my inbox right now looking for deals like that, so it'll get clicked even if I'm not a part of it. That I don't know. We probably don't have enough time to address it, but that brings up a super interesting point. Is I've been becoming increasingly worried about like social media policy, not for like corporate accounts and business accounts, but like I'm perpetually online. I'm also like, I guess, of the age where I've been perpetually online since I was a very, very small child. But it's like that represents real risk to a business, even though it has no connection. Me going to Buffalo Wild Wings outside of Amanda on our team, who loves to make jokes about it, has no connection to Finn. And yet that could be a thing that is leveraged exactly like you just did to say, and, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Like Connor gave him the 2-for-1 special on a night that wasn't wing night. He clicked on it thinking he could go there. Nope. He signed into his Buffalo Wild Wings account with using Google OAuth, which is actually something I expect to do, because I'd rather have Google be the OAuth broker, be the authorization broker, instead of having to memorize 1 million passwords. Boom, instantaneously done. Brett got me just like that. I can see it happen.
I don't know a better way to end this webinar than with Brett looking up Connor. Buffalo Wild Wings reference. I really don't. Oh my goodness. Well, go ahead, Brett.
I was going to say, the last thing I'll say is you mentioned having an agent looking through your inbox as well. And I'll just have to say that Finn's going to have to come out with some sort of module to do security awareness training for AI agents as well. That's one of the things I'm worried about with inboxes too. When you have a model that's going through clicking on links that has access to your authentication and whatnot, that is kind of where I see the future of phishing going as well.
You bring up a really interesting point, and one that was a part of a debate I had with another cybersecurity expert like 2 days ago. And it was, as much as I hate to say it and it hurts my soul, I could see a very near future where like version control for agent skill files is a thing that's necessary, so you can do that. So you can say, is there some kind of now trained in bias that could be exploited in some unknown fashion that we just haven't thought of yet, because we don't have version controls on the skill files for the 1,000 agents that we have running in our environment right now. Finn doesn't have 1,000, but I'm sure there are companies that do, and I'm sure 1,000, some would scoff and be like, "You're only 1,000 agents, Connor? That was so 2 months. You need to be at 100. What are you doing?" It's like, okay, so yeah, but you bring up a really interesting point: training for agents. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we've hit our respect your time and everybody else's time, but thank you so much. We always love having our friends at CCB join us and share a little bit of knowledge and how we can just do better and help people stay more secure and have Brett scare us. So it was great.
Sounds like an internal meeting now, but thank you.
Gonna hop off this call and set up a new personal filter for keywords in my mailbox, and it's going to be Buffalo Wild Wings.
Thank you, everyone. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Brett.
Bye.